बिसिए फोर्थ सेमेस्टरको डाटाबेस म्यानेजमेन्ट सिस्टम पढ्छौँ है। डाटाबेस म्यानेजमेन्ट सिस्टम रहेको छ। सुरुमा रहेको छ इक्जाम प्रिपरेसन कन्सेप्ट टिप्स मोडुलर क्वेसन। बिसिए फोर्थ सेमेस्टर डाटाबेस प्रिपरेसन एन्ड कम्प्लिट नोट रहेको रहेछ। आज हामी यही नोट सबै पढ्छौँ। 90 पेजको नोट रहेको रहेछ। Overview database management system is the software package designed to define, manipulate, retrieve, and manage the database in the system. The DBMS generally manipulate the data items itself, the data format, field name, record structure, and the file structure. It also defines the rules to validate and manipulate this data. The DBMS relieves users of framing program for the data maintenance, fourth generation query language such as SQL are used along with the DBMS package to interact with the database. Some other database example include the MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle, DBase, and FoxPro. Database is the collection of the information that is organized so that it can be easily accessed, managed, and updated. Data organization into row, column, and table, and it is indexed to make it easier to finally, a relevant information characteristic of our DBMS provide the security and remove the redundancy insulation between the program and the data abstraction support multiple view and the data sharing of the data and the multiple user transaction processing. DBMS allow the utility and the relation among them to form the tables. It follow the ACID concept, automacy, consistency, isolation, and durability. The DBMS support the multi-user environment and that allow users to access and manipulate the data in the parallel. DBMS multi-user access is does not support the multi-user access designed to fulfill the need for the small and the large business. It is only limited to the small DBMS system. Remove redundancy and integrity. Redundancy and integrity issue expensive, but in the long term, total cost of the ownership is cheap. It is cheaper. It is easy to implement complicated transaction. No support for the complicated transaction. Objective of the DBMS element, the recombinant data make the access of data easy for the user, provide for the mass storage of the relevant data, protect the data from the physical harm and unauthorized person, allow for the growth in the database system, make a list modification to the database available immediately, allow for the multiple users to be active at one time, provide prompt response to the user's request for the data. Importance of the DBMS, the database management system is important because it manages the data efficiently and allows the users to perform the multiple tasks with ease. The database management system is to organize and manage the large amount of information within the single software application. Use of this system increase the efficiency of the business operation and reduce the overall cost. Database management system are important to the business and organization because they provide the highly efficient method for handling the multiple types of data. Some of the data that are easily managed with this type system include employee record, student information, payroll, accounting, project management, inventory, and the library books. This system are built to be extremely versatile. Without the database management system, tasks have to be done manually, and to make more time, data can be categorized and structured to switch need of the company or the organization. Data enter into the system and access on a routine basis are assigned by the user. Each user may have assigned password to gain access to their part of the system. Multiple user can use the system at the same time. Advantage of the DBMS. DBMS offer the variety of the technique and store the retrieve data. DBMS service is as an efficient handler to balance it's minus to balance representation. DBMS use the various powerful functions to store and retrieve the data. DBMS schedules concurrent access to the data in such manner that only one user can access the same data at a time. Disadvantage cost of hardware and the software of the DBMS is quite high, which increase the budget. Most database management system are often complex systems, so the training for the users to use DBMS required. In some organization. All the data is integrated into the single database, which can be damaged because of electric failure. Use of same program at a time may the user sometimes lead to the loss of some data. DBMS cannot perform the sophisticated calculation. DBMS banking for the customer information, account activities, payment, deposit, loan, airline for reservation, and schedule information for the university for student information, course registration, college, and the grade. It helps to telecommunication. It helps to keep the record monthly bill, maintaining balance, finance for storing about the stock, sales, purchase, and financial instrument like the stock and the bond. Sales use of storing the customer product and sales information. It is used for management of the supply chain and for tracking the production of the items, inventory status in the warehouse, for information about the employee salary, payroll, deduction, generation of the paycheck, database design architecture and the model overview of the database design and the process. Database system are designed to manage the large bodies of the information. Database design mainly involves the design of the database schema, the design of complete database application environment that meets the need of enterprise being modeled and attention to the broader set of issue. In this stage, we focus in initially on writing the database query in the design of database schema. Database design is the collection of processes that facilitate designing, development, implementation, and the maintenance of the database system. It helps to produce the database system to meet the requirement from the user, have the high performance, high level data models. Prototype are the database designer with the conceptual framework in which specify the data requirement of the database user and how the database will be structure to fulfill this requirement in the initial phase of database design. Then it is categorized fully data need and the prospective database user. The database designer need to interact with extensively with the domain expert and the users to carry out these tasks. The outcome of this phase is specification of the user requirement. Next, the designer choose the data models and applying the concept of the chosen data models translate this requirement into the conceptual schema of the database. The schema developed at this conceptual design phase provide the detailed overview of the enterprise. The designer review the schema, confirm that all the requirements. The designer can also examine the design and remove any recombinant feature. The focus at this point on describing the data and their relationship rather than attribute and other value table. The fully developed conceptual schema indicate the functional requirement of the enterprise. In the specification of the functional requirement, users describe this kind of operation or the transaction that will be performed on the example operation include modifying or updating the data, searching for and retrieving the specific data. The process of moving from an abstract data model to the implementation of the database pursued to final design phase. The logical design phase, the designer maps the high level conceptual schema onto the implementation and the data model into the database system that will be used. The designer uses the resulting the system specific database schema subsequent physical design phase in which the physical feature of the database are specified. Database design for the university organization. To illustrate the design process, let us examine how the database for the university could be designed. And the initial specification of the user requirement may be based on the interview and the database user. The description that arises from the design phase serves as the basic for specifying the conceptual structure of the database. Here is a major characteristic of the university. The university is organized into the department and each department is identified by the unique name. Department name and located in the particular building and has a budget. Each department has also the list of a course it offers, course that is associated with the course ID, title, description, name, and credit. Mm, mm, Credit instruction are identified by their unique ID. Each instruction has the name associated with the department. Student are identified by their unique ID. Each student has the name as an associated major department name. Total credit hour, and student on the thus far. The student university maintain list of classroom. Specify the name of building room. The university maintain all the list of classes section taught. Each section is identified by the course ID, section year, and associated. The department has a list of teaching assignment for specifying for each instructor section and instructor is teaching. The department has the university has the list of student course registration specifying for each student the course and the associated section that the student has taken register for. View data abstraction database system is the collection of the interrelated data and the set of programs that allow the users to access and modify this data. The major purpose of the database system is to provide users with an abstract view of the data that is the system hides certain details and how the data are stored and maintained for the system to be usable must retrieve the data efficiently for need and efficiency at the lead designer since the many database system users do not computer trained developer hide the complexity from the user through the several level of abstraction to the simplify the user's instruction within the system view level 1 view level 2 view level n logic level physical level the lowest level of abstraction describes how the data actually store the physical level distract the complex low level data structure in the detail logical level next level of the abstraction describes what data are stored in the database and what relationship exists among those database administrator which must decide the information to keep the database. View level the highest level of abstraction describes the only one part of the entire database even though the logical level uses the simpler structural complexity remains because the variation of information the large database user this information instead they need to access only one part of the database the view level of abstraction exists to simplify their interaction with the system may provide many view for the same database as a Latine.